Good day, everybody. Today I'm going to attempt to change this boot in this maytag washer without taking the whole unit apart. I've seen a couple of deals where it looks like it can be done. We're going to give it a try. And you're along for the ride. So, we start by, there's a spring band around here. We have to remove that. Just take a flat, not a Phillips. Grabbed the wrong one. Take a flat and just get it started. There she comes. Set it off to the side. Put your boot back in there. Loosen it off. All the way around. So this is, they say 9 times out of 10 where the leaks occur in the system. It's around this boot on these front load washers. Okay. Now I'm going to go with a Phillips because I'm guessing here as to which one it's going to be. I'm thinking it's going to be a Phillips. And you go inside. Might need that extension just to get a better angle on it. So righty tighty, lefty loosey. You go up inside and you hold your mouth just right. And you loosen it off. And you're doing it all by feel. And it's a little bit jerky. But I can feel it getting looser. So I must be succeeding. Now you really want to take it so that it's loose because you got to leave that band in place. And then you just pull the inner of the boot off the end. Loader tub. And be careful not to twist things up. While you're in here, see, this was my patch job over my little split here. Just electrical tape. It didn't hold. But it didn't have to hold for long. So here's the band. It's the inner band. Let's take that off and protect it so we don't wreck it, because it's important not to wreck it because we have to reuse it. Alrighty, there. Now this comes off of there. This is where your water comes in to the whole washer. That's the old boot. A little grungy. And this is a great time to clean any grunge out of there. I'm just going to take a pocket knife and go in at the back of the blade and take the scuzz out. We have a lot of pets in our house. We have 2 cats and 2 dogs. So we have a lot of hair. And clean out anything you can. So that's looking pretty good. While you're in here, check and make sure everything's turning right. Just sometimes gotta make sure that everything is operational in the way that you think that it should be. Set my knife up there for now. Here is the new boot. This is what they classify as an improved boot for this washer. They call it an improved boot. Well, that's one thing right there. We got to get this out of here. No problem. Pulls out just so this little thing has to come out of the old boot into the new boot. Push it through. That's what your hose goes on. The chute faces into the washer, obviously. Just be sure of your orientation when you do it. We could do it this way too. But okay. As of right now, this is making me extremely nervous. Because I don't think this is the same size boot. Looks like it. Face to face. Well. Be able to hook that up before I let's lay this flat. Haha, I'm doing it backwards. That's why things are weird. Biggie side first. No wonder it was getting confusing. Just loosen this screw out to the max so that gives you room to it gives you room to get it around. And what's happening here is I'm backing it out on the threads on both sides, so I'm not achieving anything. So screw it in until you get one side free. And there you go. Everything's maxed out, backed out. These little spots here mark the top. Put your screw at the top. This is tricky. I'm not sure. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, I'll work that band in afterwards. This is a little too tricky to try to get it in with the boot because you kind of got to fit everything over the lip of the outside tub. That's available. So nobody said this was simple or easy. It's simple enough. Nobody said it was easy. So we're just going to work on it the right place. I'm doing something wrong. It's tricky. It's definitely tricky. It's one of those things. There's little triangle tabs in here. And I think I've just figured out why they're there. It's for you to reach and pull as you're putting this in. And then you kind of work your way around from that point. Now, get your orientation of your intake flow to the right area. Because once that sucker's on the tub, you're not going to turn it. It's sticky. And be patient. Something that I have to learn. There's a tab on each side. And nobody says it's all going to land the right way the first try. Down in the bottom, there's 4 drain holes that drain from the boot back into the tub. You have to get them lined up. So that's a place for you to start. It's right there. I believe. Yep. Well, let's start there. Tricky. Very tricky. So, if you were to look at the service manual, this tells you to take off all this front. That's quite a job. That being said, it might be the easiest way to do it. But easy isn't always what rednecks do. Sometimes we do stuff the hard way. This is the tricky part, because you're going all by feel, 100%. And you just have to keep working your way around, putting it over the lip. And I'm right-handed. So this side is awkward because I'm using my left hand, and it'll likely get easier as I get around so that I can use my dominant hand. Once you get so far, it almost starts feeding itself. That's the part where you can't get frustrated. Okay, so there's a double lip here. It's different than the old boot. The old boot had a single lip. This is where the tricky part comes in. We're learning. So it's a double boot, double lip. On the old boot, it had a single lip. It just went in and around, and you tightened it up. This guy has got a double lip that goes around the outside ring of the tub and goes on the inside lip of the tub, of the outer tub. So it actually goes over the outer tub like this rather than just like this. And so be patient, feed all that through slowly, because you can rip these things and they're very expensive. This was the cheapest one I could find on Amazon. It came 5 days early, so I'm impressed with that. I'm not leaving anybody a link because I'm not part of their sales team. But I will say, shop around on Amazon, because I've seen some from everywhere from, I believe it was 240 bucks, and that was Canadian. I got this one for about 118. And they all had the same specs. They all said improved to fit maytag, and it lists all the model numbers. Yeah. So now that I've figured out that I've got to feed double lip, it takes a little more time, but I think it's getting easier. You feed the front, you feed the back, and it kind of holds itself in. So like I said, just be patient. Try not to, you don't want to have to buy a new one of these. Again, it took, well, I'll say I ordered it the week before Christmas, I think. Just before Christmas. And we got it the 10th of January, so it takes a little time for them to show up. So if you've got a massive leaky one where it's torn right out and water's just pouring out, you can't use your washer for that long. So once you get one, you maybe don't want to wreck it. I was lucky on this one. It was just a little leak. You'll get the feel of it as the boot gets put in place. It kind of just snuggles in, and I think that's the improved part. That must be the improved part of it. Is it has that, it grabs onto the tub differently than the old one did. Yeah. We're getting there. some things it just doesn't pay to get rammy. Angle is tough at times. You really gotta hold your mouth right because you're going 100% by feel. If you're one of those tongue biters that when you're really concentrating, you're chewing on your tongue, this might be a test for it. You might need a little. Your tongue might get a little raw from chewing on it if you're a tongue biter. I'm being a smart ass. My brother-in-law is a mechanic, and he's one of those guys when he's really thinking, he always had his tongue hanging out. A very good mechanic, by the way. I always teased him a little bit about that. Okay, you just gotta maybe pull it up a little bit, because as you set things in, you gotta make it fit. And just keep working your way around slowly. Don't use a screwdriver. You will wreck it. And then you're ordering a new one. Sometimes it works best to put the inside on first, and then on other angles it works best to put the outside of the tub lip on first. As long as it gets on, there's no wrong way of doing it. I could see where it would be easier to mount this ring, this boot, with all the metal off of the front. The thing is, I don't like being more intrusive than I need to be on stuff like this, because it sometimes the guys that tear stuff apart make it look really easy to get it back together, because they know all the tricks of the trade, because they're professionals and they do it every day. I don't want to tear my washer right apart. Hence why I'm making an attempt at doing it this way first. If I have to, I pull her out and I start undoing screws. But I don't think I'm going to have to. But I will say, it's not as easy as one would think. And you got to get it right. Otherwise, it's not going to sit right and it won't last. So you have to take your time and do it right. And the last little bit's getting to be what I'm finding tricky. To get it all seated in place. On the inside of the tub. Takes a little bit of strength in your fingers. I'm a face maker when I do stuff. I make funny faces when I'm thinking and concentrating really hard. Some people showing their tongues. So right at the top, I'm having a tough time with that lip getting over in place right at the top. And it'll go, you just gotta keep working it. Step forward, 2 steps back sometimes. But take your time. It's a learning process. I've never done this before. So this isn't a how-to video. This is a watching me do it for the first time video, and hopefully never having to do it the second time. I've had this unit for 5 years. And this is the first problem I've ever had with it. And I guess when you look at the greater scheme of things, that's a pretty minor detail. Okay, the last little bit is going to be the toughest to get it on the inside of the tub, inside of the outer tub. My outside part, that's easy. Change the angle. Get lower. Let's see what we're doing here. We're almost there. Okay. She is in most every place. Okay, I'm not sure. Hey babe, can you bring the light here so I can do an inside shot? Thanks. I got it in place. Okay, so let's just give you a close-up of what we're looking at here. This is a double lip. This is the double lip I'm talking about. So that goes over the outside of the tub. I'm hoping we can kind of get it to focus, but it goes over the outside of the tub up here. And inside of the outside of the inside tub, of the outer tub, right here. And it grabs that tub like that. So you just got to work it in, and I've got it in place now. Okay, so the next thing is to put the band back in place on the inner tub. So I'm going to set you back in the tripod. Hopefully. Okay, I'm going to set you back in the tripod without pushing the off button like I just did. So now I have to edit the video. Your screw goes, the head goes on this side. Pointy side of the screw goes on this side. And you're working blind up there. I'm just gonna see, there's our intake right at the top. And I'm thinking, because this is pointy, you want to start with it. But I could be wrong. Get it fed in all the way around. so that it's loosely in place. And go by feel one more time. There's a lip up there. And you feed it into that lip in the silicone or rubber, whatever it is, silicone rubber gasket boot. And you make sure that your ring is in place. Screwdriver. So on a scale of 1 to 10 for hardness, for a guy that's fairly mechanically inclined and handy with tools, there you go. Just dropped my screwdriver. It's not a high level of skill. I would put it at about a 4 or 5. Now let's talk about level of patience. It's at a bit higher level of patience. You have to be patient with it. Weird. It's got a little calendar thing up here. Wonder if that's when, what dates it was made in between. Part number. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Don't worry, don't sweat the small stuff, man. So just you're going by feel. And my ring kind of rotated on me. Try to keep it at the top. Take your time. Don't rip the seal. Yeah, there's dimes and nickels in here. Back in the very back side. Caught up in the inner tub on the seam. Who knows it? Who knew I was going to get paid to do this job? Work your way around. Get it tight. Remember, we backed that screw all the way out, so you got a long way to turn it. And as I turn it, it works its way off to this side because it doesn't slide. That's okay. And you don't have to make it stupid tight. It just needs to be snug. You're doing everything by feel on this job almost. The only easy part is the front part. Okay, let's hook up our water intake. So it wasn't hard. We're past the hard part. It was not hard. I would, like I said, I would give it a maybe hardness of 3 out of 10 level. You need a screwdriver, pliers, a boot, some patience, So now we're just feeding the outer boot around the outer lip on the body of the washer. And well, before that, let's check our work and make sure that ring on the inner is in the proper positioning, and it is. So, always check your work, I guess, before you close things up to the final stage. Probably easier to do it at that point than find out you got a leak and wreck the boot and have to order a new one. Okay, so just see it? Oh, there's your spring. And it goes on the bottom. Now, just going to have a different angle on this again, so I'm going to get back on my little stool here. There's a trick to getting this on. I did it once. Because other than that, she just feeds out around you. Put your knee there to hold it in. What's the matter, Mika? And you're gonna have to show patience on this too. It's not hard, it's just unhandy. Put your knee there, feed it around. As it gets tight, get your pliers. Grab that little ear where the spring is. And keep your knee on. Okay. Believe it or not, this is supposed to be the easy part. When I patched the last boot, and the patch didn't hold, so don't waste your time if it's bad. If it's a little one, maybe. When I patched the last boot, I must have gotten it just right the first time, because it almost would have been classified as easy. Make sure you're in place before you start trying to put the ring on. Okay. Third time's the charm. Try it from the other direction. I don't know. Just do what you gotta do. Keep trying till it's done. See that? Make sure your ring is not all, the spring on the ring is not messed up. Don't think so. There's not enough room in here. It's a matter of getting everything in place and holding your mouth just right. And put some good pressure on that spot right there. Grab the ear of the band next to the spring and pull the spring, not the band. There you go. Just once you get that in place, go down and just work the spring over the edge. She's done. Okay, so everything's kind of honky-dory there. That was not a how-to video, but watch me hold my beer and watch this video. See if a redneck can fix his own washing machine. I don't know what that would save you at a repair shop. To be honest, if you knew what you were doing and it was something you did more than once, I don't think that a repair shop would soak you too bad on it. But as we all know, people need to make a living, and if they're coming out to work on your stuff, or if you're hauling it to them and you're working on it in their shop, they need to make a living too. So if you're going to do this yourself, show some patience, show some, it's all in place. And I'm just feeling my way around there to feel if there's anything abnormal, and there's not. Everything's sitting in there really nice. But like I say, they did. Well, no they didn't. I just wasn't paying attention when I took it out. Okay, here's the old boot, and it fits over like that too. It fits over. There's your inner lip, outer lip. And it takes some time to work it over. And you've just got to take that time and work it over. So that is garbage. Goes to the recycle bin. They can do what they want with it. Done. Thanks for watching, everybody. If you like what we're doing here, the odd thing that we do differently besides worms and cows and pasture and feeding and pigs, send us a like, a subscribe, and a share. Talk to you later. Bye.